Welcome to another episode of Speak Your Peace with Above and Beyond Treatment Facility located at 2942 West Lake Street. My name is Memory Pines, and this is my guest for today, Miss
Bionne Kimpling.
Yes. Amani, I cannot see us on the monitor. Yes, thank you. Hi, everyone. Again, welcome to Above and Beyond episode of Speak Your Peace, located at 2942 West Lake. Today, I have an exciting guest, someone who I have watched do the work, watched her help people, and she has so much to offer. What I would like for you all to do is just listen to what Miss Bionne Kimpling has to say, and I'm going to ask her this question. Bionne, what do you do?
Well, I am a senior counselor and the compliance director for Above and Beyond Family Recovery Center. And what that amounts to is, as a senior counselor, I work with people with substance use disorder and do casework and counseling and treatment assessments. And then as the compliance director, I follow the rules and regulations and make sure that we are crossing our T's and dotting our I's.
In compliance with the state.
Exactly.
But we're going to get away from all that today with the compliance part. I know that you do specialty work. And I want to talk about that.
All right.
Because one little piece that I really like was the tapping.
Okay.
So can we talk a little bit about tapping? Tell me what tapping is.
Sure. Well, it's emotional freedom technique, and it's where you tap on points on the body that are energy channels, and they're the same ones that are used in Chinese medicine that were discovered over 5,000 years ago. And when you tap on these points, it sends messages to your body to relax. And so it can be very good for sleep. It can help with memory. It can help with anger issues. There's a large number of things. And the specific protocol that we use is called trauma tapping. And so it helps people to work on resolving their trauma issues so that they don't lead to a return to substance use.
Well, see how that is something that I tried. I know she had me tapping here, tapping here, tapping there, here. Yeah. So, it might sound like tapping, yeah. But once you start doing it, and I'm not doing it now, but when I was trying to do it, and it really did help me to kind of slow the thoughts down, kind of relax more. So I wanted you all to hear about that tapping, because that's something that you can do and nobody even know that you really kind of self-helping yourself. So that's one thing that I know that Bionne does. And also, I'm telling you, she got a bag of tricks now. She also brought in therapy movies, recovery movies. Can we know a little bit about that?
Sure. So there's a book out by Ted Perkins called Addiction in Films. And what we do is, the way that it got started was that in his recovery process, he watched 100 movies in 100 days, and they were all movies that had to do with addiction and recovery. And that helped to support his recovery. And so what we do is, on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, we show a movie about addiction and or recovery. And then afterwards, the participants discuss the different principles that were brought up in the movie to help support their recovery. And the thing that's really interesting about it is that, the brain doesn't know the difference between something that actually happens and something that's vividly imagined. So when you're watching these movies, it's like they get a chance to almost practice or experience what happens. And we've all watched movies where you find yourself crying or along with the main characters and
Right.
stuff. And so they're really getting a chance to kind of experience things without the harsh consequences.
Another something to add it on. And she sets at Above and Beyond, they set the room up like a real movie theater. And they offer popcorn to the clients. And in the discussion afterwards, sometimes it's so intense and so identifiable that it makes you think. It makes you think, well, I've been there, and these are the choices I made. But in the movie, the movie usually gives you a better way out. The movie is the movie. But this is something that I would come in there, have the popcorn, sit down and watch that movie, and it helps you to what would I say? It helps you to put perspective on your own behavior.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I know I'm not touching. That was two things. So tell me something else that you have brought to Above and Beyond.
Well, I didn't bring it to Above and Beyond, but I have been an integral part of our brain spotting. Brain spotting is a therapy similar to EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, and it's also similar to somatic experiencing. And it's a way of working on trauma as well as working on other issues, but primarily it's used for trauma because the person doesn't have to tell the story of the trauma in order to have their trauma treated, which is particularly valuable because most people don't want to talk about their trauma. They find it to be re-traumatizing to talk about their trauma. And so to be able to work on it in a non-threatening situation, and it also tends to be faster because it accesses the subconscious, which is where trauma is actually stored. Talk therapy only addresses the prefrontal cortex, where reasoning, logic, and language is, and the trauma is actually stored in the subcortex, and brain spotting is able to access that.
Now, see, I'm not going to tell you that she got some of them letters behind her name. CRSS, AS, MS. She got some numbers and letters behind her name. And so you know how she talked about the frontal cortex. And to the layman, we kind of stuff it down there and we don't let it back up. And under no circumstances do we want this to arise, but we also know that we carrying them packages. And sometimes them packages limitate us from doing what we need to do, or traumatize us to where we won't even go in that direction. Mm-hmm. I have seen people come out of her classes and say, "Oh, I wish I'd have did this years ago. Oh, now I can go face my grandmother, my mother, and talk about the wrongs I did." It's something that I don't think just for people in recovery. This can be utilized as people who need just therapy. And there's a lot of us out here, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So, Bunny, anything else that we need to know about Miss Bionne Kimpling? 'Cause I'm finding out some things.
Well, I also run a group on family trauma, which is basically intergenerational trauma. And one of the things that they have found is that there's this concept known as epigenetics. And they've found that the traumas that we've been through, the traumas that our ancestors have been through, all of that rolls down and is transferred down from generation to generation. And it actually can alter our genetics and make people more susceptible to cancer or diabetes or other illnesses and disorders. They've actually done studies where they have found that the great-grandchildren of Holocaust survivors found themselves hoarding food. And the grandparents had never told them about that they'd had to hoard food in the Holocaust. But it was just something that genetically was passed down. And so that's another area where, brain spotting and other techniques can be useful.
Well, I'm gonna have to go to one of those classes because I've been always taught eat everything on your plate. If you put it on there, do not waste. And then clothes, different areas. So I'm listening to this and I'm seeing how it fits in with my life. I always tell people above and beyond is something different. It's not your regular treatment center. It's a harm reduction facility. And when I'm saying, you hear them out there in different facilities say, we harm reduction. But let somebody use, they put them out. Mm-hmm. Or if they didn't use and they go to their facility, they can't get in. Yeah. Right, so that's not harm reduction. That's traditional treatment. And I think that the programs that Bunny is running and other programs that Above and Beyond offers allow a person to come in as they are. Mm-hmm. So when a person comes to you as they are, when they first come, how do you get that person to stay?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with our atmosphere and the way that we treat people. When you come into our facility, it looks like a living room. Mm-hmm. It doesn't look like a treatment facility with the bare walls and stuff. We have a lot of artwork, a lot of inspirational sayings on the wall and such. And you come in and you're greeted by somebody who isn't the person at the front desk traditionally or that answers the phone, traditionally in treatment is somebody who's getting basically paid minimum wage and has no clinical skills. Well, we hire clinical staff to answer the phone because we have people that call her in crisis. And and we want to make sure that they're treated in such a way that they feel very welcomed. And the minute that you walk in, you can feel that something's different. And I've had a lot of people tell me that as well. And so we also try to avoid language that can be stigmatizing. So instead of calling someone a drug user or a junkie or that they have a dirty urinalysis screen, we'll say things like it was positive for cocaine, or we'll say that that the person is a person who uses drugs, so that it's person first language, because they're a person first. They're much more than just an addict. An addict doesn't define somebody. There's much more to that person, and I think that starting out that way is really a great way to get to gain trust and to begin a relationship, so that then they feel that they can trust you and that they can work with you and confide in you.
That is one of the things that caught my eye about Above and Beyond. People was telling me about this place. You got to come and check out Above and Beyond, and and see what they're about. And when I did, I was surprised at how people was just really wanted to get themselves together once they walked through that door. Mm-hmm. Once they walked through the door, I have seen people go to other treatment facilities and they like. I don't want to stay here. I don't want to go here. I don't want. These people are excited about going to meet with their counselors, go to the groups, and the groups are real personable. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me about what part of Above and Beyond the therapy that really excites you? Seeing the people. What excites you?
I think the groups, because so many of our individuals come in with a massive trauma base, and which left untreated can be a trigger to a return to use, and we believe that that people are much more than just their addiction. And we believe that the drugs and alcohol aren't necessarily the problem, They are a symptom of the problem. They were something that the drugs and alcohol were something that people were trying to use as a solution to the problem. So until we figure out what that underlying problem is and work on that, the person's always going to be susceptible to a return to use. Most trauma happens in isolation, and people heal in community. So we have these groups. There's many different topics. We have 40 different groups a week. So we're able to really individualize it to the person's needs, and we can make sure that those underlying things are worked on. Trauma, for instance, if you've ever been in a situation where you found yourself reacting to a noise or something someone said or something someone did in a way that's out of proportion to what happened, you've just triggered a trauma. And until that is treated and processed, it's going to be there, and it can affect your life because when your trauma is triggered, you may overreact on somebody. It could get you fired from a job. It could strain your relationships with your family and friends. It can have any number of negative consequences in your life.
But I think what you said was a real profound statement, and I'm going to have to get that underlined up under the at the caption as part of this. When you said that isolation is the trauma, but recovery is in the group, that's profound all of its own. That like society, you need people to heal, and you do more harm to yourself. You know, your thinking sometimes harm yourself. I just got news today that a lady in recovery killed herself, shot herself, you know, and making meetings, you know, and talking with people, but not getting to the root of what the problem is. And, you know, we put on these masks and we don't allow ourselves to pull the onion back or disrobe because of the lack of trust. But I have seen where in those doors, it is something special, you know. And I wish different things, and you know, it was different ways, but it's holding its own. It's holding its own. So my next question to you is, what would you like to see more so in Above and Beyond? That's a hot question, I know, right?
That is.
But you know, that's what we're here for. We want to grow. We want to keep it moving. We want people to understand it's help. It's a place to receive help, and people like you to help people.
Yeah, and it's a place that they can go and get help without feeling stigmatized and without feeling shamed or anything like that. What I would really like to see is I would like to see our building expand. You can figure out how that, if anyone has a magic wand.
It's tight.
we need more space so that we could do more groups. So we would have more space to, you know, we're working on getting a license to work with adolescents. We could use more room for that. And I would like to see us have a location on the south side, because we have a lot of people that are coming from like 95th and Stony Island all the way to Above and Beyond. And that is a long, burdensome trip for people. And if we were to have a second location, we could serve more people and make it more convenient and make it more likely that people would make it in, because the travel issues are definitely a barrier to getting help.
Yeah, it's a barrier, but I have seen people make that hike. They take that, they get on those trains, they get on those buses, they call the pace because they know that it's help. And I always say at the end of the show, the life that you save may be your own. You know, if you watching this show, if you even get the broadcast, I would not sit here and say to you that go to treatment, just go to treatment. I'm trying, and it's not just because Above and Beyond, I have seen the struggles. I've been through the struggles, and I want people to get help for themselves. It is not an easy task to get off of drugs at all. A lot of people don't make it off. A lot of people, the jails, institutions, and death is for real. So if you have the opportunity to come to this place, located at 2942 West Lake Street, give yourself a chance and just take the opportunity to tell somebody, I need help. Let me see what you can offer me. What can I do to be a part of this society, this community of people helping themselves one day at a time, coming there. And they're always looking to help people. I want to talk about the food pantry a little bit. And they have a food pantry, 837 South Pulaski Avenue. You could come there, and they don't pack the bags for you. You pack your own bag, and they give high quality food out. They have multiple trucks coming in day after day, bringing fresh food and clothes sometimes for people. So they just don't stop there. They also help you with Social Security cards, getting your ID, because they know that people come in. Can you want to talk a little bit about that? I need you to just step on in there, Bunny.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, there's a large number of things that they will help you with. They also have support groups there at the pantry. Mm-hmm. We also have an online program for family and friends. It's based on Smart Recovery's Family and Friends program. And so if you have a loved one that is struggling with addiction, this teaches actual tools on how to work with that person so that you don't inadvertently make things worse, because sometimes the nagging and the pleading to get help don't work. Mm-hmm. But there are tools that will work, and Smart Family and Friends will teach that, and that's available on Zoom. And you can look that up on our website or give us a call, and we can give you that information to assist you there.
Well, our time is coming to an end, but I have enjoyed this episode because I think that Bunny is a wealth of information. She always has a warm hug and a friendly smile to people. She's just, people say, have you seen Bunny? I need Bunny. You're like, who is Bunny? And she's one of the people that really helps make above and beyond be above and beyond, because it's not, like I said, your traditional treatment facility, place for help. Some people just come, and they just come to volunteer and to help in different capacities there. So, like she said, if you may not be on drugs, but you want to help somebody, or you have the opportunity to give from within yourself, this is a location or a place that you want to be a part of. And I want to thank you for coming. Also, she's a marathoner. She's running, and she's get other people involved with that. You don't know what your assignment in life gonna be, and I think her assignment has been to help people.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So it's been a pleasure to know her and be a part of this. So with that, again, remember, the life that you may save may very well be your own. And this is Memory Pines, and this is another episode of Speak Your Peace from Above and Beyond. Have a good evening, everyone.